Alright YouTube, this is Big Germ's Garage, here looking at my 1990 Suzuki RM250. I bought it last week, about maybe four days ago. It has a bad top end, pretty much no compression. So the goal for this video is to get the top end off and get a look at it and see what exactly is wrong with it. Hopefully it just needs new piston and rings. I priced one off of eBay with gaskets, piston, rings, all that for about $120, $128, something like that. So let me tell you what I've done so far before this video started. I took the seat off first. As you see, the seat's down there. The seat basically hooked into the tank, and it had these two bolts. There's two bolts here going through the side cover that held the seat in. The tank came off. It had this little bracket here, this little strap, and then it also had right here, had a bolt here on this side behind the radiator and a bolt on the other side, and the tank came off once I disconnected the fuel line. Once I did that, I decided to go ahead and take off the exhaust, the expansion chamber. So you see that's there. Up here in the front, hopefully you can see that, you got the springs. I just had to disconnect the springs, and then we had a bolt here holding the expansion chamber on, and then another one there, and then it plugged into the exhaust back there. After I took that off, actually, the very first thing I did is I took these the side covers off of the shrouds from the radiators. Got those off. After that, I had to take this plate off. This plate had 4 screws right here. It's got a little arm inside that was connected in there that I disconnected. So now I've already gone through and loosened up the 4 bolts. Might be a little bit tighter than hand tight, but I'm gonna go ahead and take those all the way off and get the top end off. But another thing I did is I unhooked this and drained radiator fluid, and then we had this other hose here that was plugged in right there. So those were disconnected. But I was trying to save time, so I got us to this point. And also there's a motor mount that would go up here up front that would connect there. And actually that one was missing. The previous owner has already taken the top end off, and in his ad he said that we could take it off and look at it, but he didn't want to leave the top end off the motor when he was trying to sell it. So he put it back together saying that if you came and looked at it, then feel free to bring your tools and take it apart, whatever you want. But I was kind of in a hurry, so I didn't have time to sit there and take the top end off and look at it. But I mean, in his ad he said needs a new top end, and feel free to take a look at it and see what you want to do with it. But like I said, I was in a little bit of a hurry, so I didn't get a chance to work on it as much there. I mean, I made sure it had spark and checked out some of the other stuff, but you can tell that it's going to need some sort of top end work. And the big thing is going to be how bad is the cylinder, and is the bottom end okay. So alright, so I got the 4 bolts off, and hopefully the top end just lifts off once I get these 4 bolts off. And it's kind of be a surprise to you and I as to what it looks like. Alright, now since he's been in here recently, I'm hoping it just comes up. Yeah, it's loose. Still got a little water in it. I'm going to disconnect the plug. Actually, the plug's loose. And take the plug out. And I'm going to get something to put underneath it to catch some of that water that's still in the motor. Let's get the plug. Get something to catch it with. And one thing I use a lot when I'm working on stuff to catch oil, I got it. My wife loves tubs like this for clothes and stuff, and usually we end up with a lot of tops just laying around. So I use them a lot to put underneath my bikes out here when they're leaking, just to catch a little bit. But all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up. Hopefully it comes up no problem. Go a little bit higher. All right, piston's kind of stuck there. Right now the piston doesn't want to really come out. There we go. Had to use the Kickstarter a little bit. Alright. Moment of truth. And actually, I don't know how much you can see, but it doesn't look to have much damage in there. No big scars or anything. Let's get the piston disconnected. So I gotta get that pin out of it. And I do apologize for the video if it's hard to see. It might be easy to go to the other side. Man. It's gonna be tough to get that out. It's way down in there, in the groove. Let me get a little screwdriver and see if I can get it. Oh, gas got on me. And also these gloves, my wife gave me a hard time because she saw one of my other videos where I wore these gloves. Well, that didn't fall in there. So got the pin out with a clip. Now I gotta, this piston doesn't look broken or anything, just worn out, I guess. Standard, this is STD standard piston, so that's good. So the auction I saw would work. See if I can work it out from the other side. And actually, before I go on, let me get a rag and cover up so nothing falls in. It's the last thing I need is for something to fall down in there and get stuck in the bottom. And if you've ever watched any of my other videos, let me remind you that I am not in any way a mechanic. I don't work on other people's stuff. I just work on my stuff so that if I break it, it's not a big deal. I can read books, I can look in the manuals and everything, but I don't claim to be a mechanic. I got that pin out, but the thing doesn't want to slide. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I got something about the same size. Is that about the same size? That lines up. It would be nice if I could tap that out. But yeah, I've had videos before where I'm working on stuff and the person talks about how terrible of a mechanic I am, and you know what, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what he thinks, as long as my stuff runs or whatever I do I can fix. There we go, we got it. And I'm just tapping it lightly. I don't want to put too much pressure on that rod. Alright, let's see if I can get it out from the other side. I might have to give it one or two more taps and that piston will be free. I don't know if I can pull it from here or not. Nope. Let me get one or two more taps, hopefully the piston will come loose. And if you're watching this, feel free to comment, tell me how stupid I am, or whatever you want. And one thing I would like to hear is what you think of the video angle. I've worked on stuff before where I set up a tripod, or I've taken before and after shots with the camera. There we go. Alright. But this is actually seems to be the easiest way for me to videotape it without having to worry about where the camera is. My GoPro camera came with the headpiece. It kind of looks like a monitor's light, you know, light in front. So this seems to work better because it's hands-free. I don't have to worry about moving the camera. The quality is really good video, so it seems to be pretty good. But anyway, if you're watching this and you want to make a comment and let me know what you think of the video angle, or you can leave a comment telling me what you think of me working on stuff, which I don't expect to get any great reviews, but like I said, I only work on my own stuff, and as long as the stuff keeps running, is good enough for me. But I don't know if you can see this. This is, I wasn't sure about the size, but it does say STD right there on the top, so standard. Let's see what. Seems to be pretty smooth rod. I mean, there's a little tiny play side to side, but it's not much at all. It seems to be nice and smooth though. Alright, so I'm going to cover that back up. Try to keep things from falling down in there. And I'm going to go ahead and order the kit, the piston kit. To replace that, so I'm going to go with the Wasco standard bore kit. Like I said, it comes with all the different gaskets and everything. I'm going to get this head off in a little bit so I can get a little bit better view. But looking in there, there's a little bit of marks over on the exhaust side, but it'd be nice if I could just hone it and that'd be it. My brother's on his way over in a little bit, and he knows more about engines than I do, and I've got a new friend who I'll be making some videos with soon, showing you his hobby, but they both know more about engines than I do. So what I'm going to do is get them to check out the cylinder, but it doesn't seem to be any big gouges or anything like that. So tonight when I go in the house, actually in a little bit, once I hear from them, I'm going to go ahead and order the piston and get that straight. Anyway, thanks for watching Big Jerm's Garage. Just removed RM250 top end. Wasn't much to it. Check back. I'll label this one part 1 of the top end rebuild for the RM250, and then I'll link parts 2 or 3, however many parts, and eventually if you get it running, it'd be nice to get a part 4 or 5, the final product of it running. Anyway, thanks for watching Big Jerm's Garage. Comment, like, do whatever you want, watch as many times as you want, or however you feel fit. Thanks for watching Big Jerm's Garage, and have a great Memorial Day holiday tomorrow.